Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are down at the British farm today and we are harvesting the field that is straight back, which is roughly 40 acres. So we are working on filling the bins at the main farm. So we're doing what we typically do. I'm running grain cart, Dad's in the combine, and Travis is running the 79, and he's running the grain wagon back to the farm and filling up the soak-up grain bin, which by now is probably, I would expect, about half full. And the moisture I tested last week here, and we were sitting around 14%. Once we fill the bin up, we're going to start hauling the rest of the stuff down to Dubuque. But this is my good chance to be here for harvest and not be running the truck. Because once we start hauling stuff directly to the elevator, it's pretty much just non-stop truck running for me until we're done harvesting. But Hannah and Brittany have been running the 76 and the Rhino 4155 mower. They've been going around chopping stalks. Hannah's actually going to do that this afternoon. And we're hoping to make some fodder bales by the end of the week, at least for Travis's cattle and Dad's cattle down here. We haven't harvested anything out at my place yet. I'm hoping that all the corn on top of the hill will provide enough fodder for me through the winter. And then come spring, I'll spread the manure back out, back on that field to try to maintain that level of nutrients out there. So I'm not necessarily just pulling all the fodder off and not putting it back out. But so far, they've had a pretty good running of harvest. No major issues or anything like that. Things here and there going out. I'm actually having a few issues with Big Red. Not totally sure what's going on there yet. I just replaced the oil pressure sensor, and that was an engine code that came up. I replaced that, but it's still not acting right. It seems like it's misfiring, and the engine, the computer's not telling me anything about why that could be. I actually had a mechanic look at it already, and they couldn't find anything wrong with it. So keep running it until the computer, something does go wrong, and then the computer really does know what's wrong with it. But it's got me concerned because it's one of those things where sometimes it's really bad. It'll do it to me 20 times on a one-way trip, and then it doesn't do it again for like at least 3 or 4 days. Like, that's how sporadic it is. It just makes it extremely hard to diagnose. So we're going around. We're just starting to open this field up with the combine. Hopefully the yields are good here. The ear size when I had been walking this was actually kind of smaller, but that can vary depending on what your population is. If you have a higher population, that can actually cause you to have smaller ears, but you have more plants out there. It goes back to that video where I said that your plants are kind of forgiving depending on what the weather does, because they do have the ability to compensate depending on how harsh things are out in the field. But I think we should have the bin full by the time we're done here. If we don't, then we'll just haul corn from out of my place over to the farm and get the bins filled. Doing the outside pass, and we've traveled not really far at all. Usually we can make it around one full pass around the outside of this field, but I'd say he's less than halfway around and the combine's already full. So I think this field is definitely yielding better. So Hannah and I's place has been falling in for the last several years now, and several weeks ago they just showed up to start tearing it down, and I'm really excited to share with you guys, hopefully next week in our next video, with what we're left with. I know I'm excited, Hannah's excited, and what we're left with is going to be really, really nice. It's been needed to get done for several years now. I got comments from a couple of locals once I talked to, and I told them that I was living in that house, and they're like, "You actually live in that dump?" It's like borderline insulting, but it's like, yeah, I do. We were actually supposed to have this done several years ago is when we started looking. I finally found a local guy who does contracting and stuff like that, and he's doing a tremendous job on it. Hopefully next week we'll have it mostly done and can show you guys what we're left with. But more details then. But I'm just really excited. So this really does look like it's yielding pretty good. I think Dad's going to keep us pretty busy in the back here. About 2 sheets down, I'd say. The stuff that we're harvesting right now is drier than I had tested. When I had gone out and pulled ears, it was testing 14. That was last week. And now it's testing 13 coming off the wagon. So quite a wide range of moistures out there. have a little bit of feed corn left in the other bin, so we're gonna transfer that corn out and put it into the feed bin. I'll feed out of this first. Another 8 of my fats are ready to go. Well, you're not going to see this on prime time. So we just got done harvesting for the day. Pretty long day because the bin needed some work. That took until after dark. And I was feeding the cows with the JCB and put a bale in, saw a calf that was in the lot that had pink eye. So fed the cows, put the JCB back, walked in circles for about 30 minutes trying to figure out which calf it was because I didn't get a good look at him other than his eye. Found the calf. We got him into the chute. We need to give him a shot of LA 300. Typically they say between 3 cc's and 4.5 cc's per 100 pounds. He's roughly maybe 400 to 500 pounds. Probably maybe a little bit heavier than that. But we're gonna get him in the head catch, shoot him in the neck with some meds. Yeah, I'll show you his eye and what caught me. But yeah, this is a night after harvesting that I don't have lights or anything fancy set up, so I got a Nebo set up on one of my fence posts over there. I'd like to get some lights around the barnyard eventually, but I'm not rich enough to be able to put lights around this whole thing yet. But looking forward to that day. But let's go ahead and get this guy ran through and push him back out. Come on, dude. That was close. Honestly, I thought he got through there for a second. So looks like he's got pink eye starting on this eye. You can tell by the ring that's right there. Let's check his other eye. His other eye is good. So one of the symptoms of pink eye is that it gets to a point where the eye will start tearing up and there'll be a line of moisture. Sorry, I gotta fix the camera. There'll be a line of moisture underneath the eye. It'll be just sopping wet with liquid from the tear ducts. So we're gonna give him, I need to work out the math yet how much he needs, but shoot him up quick and then get him back out with his mom. So let's say he's roughly, let's use 500 pounds. I found it's better to go a little bit over the top. Just make sure that you're over treating and not under treating. But you guesstimate their weight and that gives you what you need. I like to go in between, so if the LA 300 has a range, I like to go somewhere in between the range. I take what the most he could possibly weigh and the least he could weigh and figure out what I want to give him. So if he's 500 pounds, if he was 1,000 pounds at 4.5 cc's, that would be 45. If he's half that, that would be 22.5. What you can do too is take a little bit of this and shoot it in his eye to help treat it faster. They should start improving within 24 hours. If they're not, you might be dealing with something else entirely. But so far, this has been working really good. All right, got our syringe loaded with 12 cc's. Gonna give him his first shot. So on the bottle, as the label says, no more than 10 cc's per injection site. So I'm gonna take the first 10, inject him, pull it out, and I'm gonna use 2 cc's in his eyes to try to treat directly at the problem area. As a part of the BQA program, when you give them shots, you want to give them in the neck, mostly because it doesn't harm any of the meat by giving them in that location. When you shoot them in other spots, it can spoil the meat, especially if they don't have time to recover. It can pretty much just give them a bruise and it can spoil it that way. So we're going to go where he can't necessarily do those quick jumps like that, hoping that he can get out. I like to give the shot site a little rub to try to close up the puncture so that it doesn't leak out. He's going to be on a warpath when he comes out of there, so Always got to make sure that the path is clear. Come on, dude. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. We just burned about an hour, but at least he's treated. He's not the only one that needs treatment. I've been seeing a couple others, but I have been watching for him. Most of it boils down to making sure that you're taking the time to do it, because when you get home this late, you don't have lights, it can be hard to actually settle down and take the time necessary, especially when you don't have lights like this. It adds on more time because the cows can't see where the gates are open and closed at to make it easier to work with. But a few years, I'll have it fixed up. We just finished harvesting down at Travis's place, and although it's a tight fit, all of the corn fit into the bins. So we got another week and a half to go before we can start moving some more corn. And in that time, we're gonna start making some fodder. Tomorrow, our plan is to make corn fodder. Hannah stayed later last night and ground stalks down here. So hopefully we've got enough cut at Rockville, enough cut down here for the cows at each place. Once we get the corn off of the top of the hill out of my place, we'll go out, chop stalks out there, and then make bales for my cows. Right now, the forecast is looking pretty clear. This corn fodder is drier than it was up at Rockville, but we've had a big drying window for the corn fodder. So if we can get it made this weekend, they're calling for a slight chance of rain next week. But if we can get it all baled up, it'll be really nice stuff. So that's pretty much it for this video. We're gonna head back to the farm, get the rest of the corn in the bin here, get the combine moved back up to the farm. Basically just get ready for when we can really start going once we can haul corn down to the river. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work. And be sure to tune in for our next video when I can hopefully show our house. But anyway, I'll see you next time.